Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast Radio.
Well, Scurri has gone from strength to strength in recent years, and due to the vast increase in global online sales over the past 2 years, it is embarking on a significant recruitment drive with many of the new jobs planned for Wexford. Fergal O'Carroll, the company's new Chief Revenue Officer, joins us now to tell us more. Fergal, start by reminding us about the service which Scurri provides.
Good morning, Carl. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, sure, absolutely. So just to keep it very simple, Scurri's built a software platform that enables online sellers to integrate their ordering systems with multiple delivery carriers. So when I talk about delivery carriers, think of An Post, the Royal Mail, DPD, FedEx, and hundreds more that we integrate with. And then also we have thousands of customers that use our service under a white labeling agreement that we have with An Post and eBay, for example. So an online seller, when they need to get their goods into the hands of the buyers, they need to integrate their ordering system with not just one delivery carrier, so for example An Post, because they may be delivering to different regions and territories. So the service will help them using just a single integration point to integrate their IT systems with hundreds of different carriers. And what that really means, Carl, is that the buyer then has a fantastic choice of where, or rather which carrier they can choose to get their delivery for the lowest cost and then most efficient timeline.
And is it true to say that the business has grown in line with online selling?
Yeah, absolutely, Carl. I mean, last year, Scurri grew by 100%, which was just a tremendous number. Certainly driven by COVID restrictions, shutting down physical retail stores, meaning people shifting their buying onto online. And then those online sellers trying to essentially catch up and get their systems to scale in line with the increased demand that they saw. So we saw an increase in demand for our service alongside that.
And Fergal, you only recently joined Scurri just back 6 weeks ago. So what path were you on prior to that, and what attracted you to a Wexford-based company like Scurri?
Yeah, I was on a different path for sure, in that I was working for a global data analytics company for at least 8 years. And I was looking for a bit of a change after being there for 8 years. And Scurri came along, and it was in an industry that was growing. It had fantastic product, great people, great customer base, and the opportunity to move from, a company with thousands and thousands of employees to a much smaller environment, but a homegrown company based out of Wexford was very appealing to me. And I was very lucky to meet with Rory, our CEO, and have a great conversation with him about what was available for this Chief Revenue Officer role. And to be honest, it didn't take me long to make a decision to jump and join Scurri there back in December.
So how has that change been, and provide us with an insight into the culture within Scurri?
One thing that really attracted me when I had that conversation with the CEO, Rory O'Connor, was that the values of Scurri was very important to him in terms of culture. And he talks about, family, fun, success, being lean and how we do business, loving our customers, always being innovative. And that was quite appealing to see a CEO talk so passionately about the culture. And in fact, everyone who joins Scurri goes through what we call a cultural fit interview, where both parties are deciding whether we're a good cultural fit. And believe it or not many companies actually do that in their interview process. So that was kind of unique for me when I went through that process myself. And now I see when I'm hiring candidates and they're going through the process, I can see how much they enjoy that too. So it's been a great experience, to be honest, going through. Even just the hiring process was a good experience.
So Fergal, where will you be focusing your attention over the next 12 months?
So over the next 12 months, we're going to focus predominantly on our UK, Ireland and Germany business, and essentially double down in terms of hiring, get more people into the business so that we can address this really growing marketplace. And then I would say after that, we'll be looking to other countries within Europe.
And how competitive is the space in which Scurri is operating in internationally?
I would say it's quite competitive. There are many different players in this space, some with overlapping features. We've got people who are in the industry 20 years, and then you've got the likes of us who are probably in the 10 years. And at the same time, it's actually quite a small industry. So Rory was telling me that when you go to certain events, over a period of time, you start to see the same faces and the same people. So on the one hand, highly competitive, but probably a relatively small number of people and companies involved.
And I know that Scurri raised a lot of investment last year, so how is that going to be used in fueling the growth over the coming years?
That's right. We're very well funded at the moment. And it's probably fair to say that up to last year, a lot of previous investment has been used around our product and getting that fit for purpose. And now with this new investment, we're basically going to double down on sales and marketing. So predominantly those two areas will get the majority of the investment. But we still have roles in other areas of the company. So for example, in the product side, customer success and people and culture side too.
And as you mentioned, the company grew by 100% last year and there's more growth on the way. And as the company continues to grow, new vacancies are being created. So what can you tell us about the job creation plans over the next 12 months?
Big plans. We want to double the size of the company over the next 12 months. So that would take us over 100 employees. In fact, in the first quarter of the year, we want to get to about 65 employees from the current 50 or so. And we're making great strides towards that goal already. So essentially doubling the size of the company within that 12-month period is the short-term plan.
And of course, remote working and flexible working options are highly sought after by new recruits at present. So by offering remote working options, does this enable you to cast in at further afield and attract a high calibre of employee?
Yes, Carl, absolutely it has. So all of the roles that we offer have that flexibility. And it does mean that while we want to hire people in the Southeast and in particular who get into the Wexford office, we also offer that flexibility of being able to work from home, commuting into the office for X number of days per week. But we're also hiring in the UK, and those individuals will obviously work from their homes in the UK, or they'll work from our London office and also take trips over to Wexford. And it's clear when we're talking to candidates, they're looking for that flexibility, and it's something that Scurri are quite happy to offer.
And what challenges has remote working caused for Scurri over the past 2 years?
There are some people who've really missed that social interaction piece of being in the office every single day. And then there are other people who found working from home and having that flexibility and being with family and being able to kind of juggle both basically home life and work life. They've found that a nice change. So I think it's a mix, Carl. It depends on the individual and their circumstances. I know from my own experience, we've opened up the office now again, and people are back in the office in Wexford, and the buzz is fantastic. We've a pool table there. The guys are playing pool now at lunchtime. The canteen is open again. People are having lunch together, and you can feel a real buzz in the office. So I think what we'll see going forward is people enjoying the mix and getting into the office and having the flexibility to work from home when they need.
And we're hearing a lot about inflation and rising market costs, but what impact will these have on your clients' businesses, and in turn, are you concerned about the knock-on effect for Scurri at all?
I think the effect of inflation is very real, and it's much higher than has been published, I believe. So what that means is that online sellers are looking for the most efficient carriers to deliver their goods and not push those higher costs onto their buyers. And the Scurri platform helps tremendously there, because we have algorithms and rule engines that can determine the most efficient way to get the products from the online sellers into the buyer's hands. So I think it'll be in some ways a positive thing for us, in that our prospective clients will be looking for that type of solution, and it's one that Scurri can fulfill.
And as the Chief Revenue Officer with Scurri, Fergal, I don't want to miss this opportunity by not asking you about the whole world of sales and how that has changed so fundamentally as a result of the pandemic.
Clearly, with the pandemic, we haven't been able to get face-to-face time with our clients. But what has been advantageous is that the whole world has been under this pandemic, and everybody, including our prospective buyers, are also hooked up now to Zoom and Google Meet and all the technology that's required to have these virtual meetings. So when COVID kicked in about 2 years ago, I was running a very large business across Europe. And to be honest, within a month, we pretty much all flicked over to remote selling. And, we just got on with the job. And actually that year we had probably better success than we'd had the previous year. That's not to say that face-to-face is gone. It's not. But what I think people have realised now is that you can be far more efficient in your day. And the buyers are also engaged that way too. So in some cases, they're not expecting sellers to come in and visit face-to-face for every single meeting, which in some cases used to be the norm. So I kind of feel it's almost a positive that we've gone through this 2-year period, and that the future will be better for it.
And for those that are involved in the world of sales, how has remote selling changed the skill set required? People
need to be clearly more comfortable now in front of a video than before. That used to be the exception. Now it's absolutely the norm. I help my team a lot with coaching about how to prospect using video. In fact, now we do our outreaches instead of sending kind of boring cold emails. We're actually recording 60, 90-second clips, personalized, specific to that prospective client, to engage with them in a different way. So I think it's introduced a lot more capability in how you sell, whereas previously, maybe if the pandemic hadn't come along, we would probably not be going down this route.
And from a B2B selling perspective, of course, LinkedIn has never been as important a tool. So how is Scurri using LinkedIn to sell through?
Certainly LinkedIn is one channel we use. Traditionally, we'll start off with a request to connect or an email, but very quickly we'll look to try and get a phone call engagement with the client, because yes, digital is certainly here to stay, but there's nothing like picking up a phone and talking to a prospect, and that's something that we focus a lot on in Scurri, to get that personal connection.
And Fergal, finally, on a broader note, what is your outlook for online selling in the years ahead?
I think it's clear, just anecdotally, if we all look at our families, we know that there are droves of vans coming into the front door delivering goods every day. I think the genie's out of the bottle. We're never going to go back to the way we were. I think online selling is here to stay, and it's going to grow incrementally each year. So I'm delighted to be in an industry that's growing like that, and even more pleased that it's with Scurri.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Fergal O'Carroll, the Chief Revenue Officer with Scurri, and we wish Rory, Fergal and the Scurri team every continued success.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.
South